All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome to our Sunday celebration service. We have an exciting day today. I'm Reverend Valorie Gunsch, and I'm glad to be back from a lovely week away. You can see I brought a little souvenir with me here to remind us all that everything's going to be all right, okay? We'll talk more about that in the message, but anyway, welcome to Unity of Richmond. Welcome to those of you who have joined us online. And so we'll begin with an opening prayer. So let us just breathe in now, centering in that life of spirit that moves in and through our beingness. We connect with that life and that love and that divine intelligence that is within us and within all. And as we come together today on this Sunday and joining with all others in Richmond and around the world who are coming together to celebrate the connection, our blessing, and our sustenance from the divine. So we call forth that spirit to move in and through each one of us today, making us open and receptive to doing what is ours to do, to make this world a better place, open and receptive to be blessed and to be a blessing. And for all of those who are here from locally or from distant places, we welcome that light that you are, and we're grateful. And so we come together for healing, revealing who we are, revealing what God is and how God works and moves in and through each one of us, expressing as love. And for this, we are grateful, and so it is. So it is. So I'd like to have you join me by saying our truth statement and vision. First of all, together there is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotence. And our vision is that we are transformed lives, transforming the world. And so that's a tall order, isn't it? So as we transform our lives, we transform the world, and it doesn't start outside of us, it starts inside. So we do our personal work of transforming ourselves, and for this is how we transform the world. And I would like to call Mayor Taylor up to do our daily word today.
We got the little words today. Let's see if I can make them out. Everybody send me prayerful energy to my eyeballs. I appreciate it. Thank you. Again, I'm Mayor Taylor, and I welcome you to Unity of Richmond. The world becomes beautiful when I find God in it. When I am fully present to life, I find beauty everywhere. Looking up at shimmering stars, walking through a field of marigolds, or sitting by the ocean, I rejoice in the beauty of nature. It truly is a wonderful world. The beauty that delights my senses also lives in me. The presence of God does not just surround me, it is within me also. My divine gifts, along with my talents and unique abilities, make me a beautiful and integral part of the world. When I live in the fullness of my divinity, the expression of my humanity is beautiful. I am a radiant spiritual being, an individual of the divine. I honor the presence of God within myself and all others. We are beautiful. One thing I asked of the Lord that I will seek after, to live in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord. Psalm 27:4. And I'll say our affirmation today, and then I invite you to say it twice more with me. The world becomes beautiful when I find God in it. And together, the world becomes beautiful when I find God in it. The world becomes beautiful when I find God in it. And so it is.
Please, everyone stand. Let's sing. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit, and I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
All right, thank you. Okay, in case you hadn't noticed, yesterday we did not have our fall festival, right? It was raining, so we had to call it and call our rain date, which is this Saturday. So this Saturday, same time, same station. And also, if you haven't been on the list to volunteer, we have some volunteers who aren't going to be able to be here this Saturday. So we could use a few more to take their place. So please see me or Casey in the office, and we'll get you hooked up. And Lori is now going to be in charge. Yes, thank you, Lori. We'll get you hooked up with Lori on how you can help out with our setup and our takedown, and it'll be great on Saturday. So hopefully you got the memo. I doubt you all tried to come out yesterday, but anyway, you did. Oh no, she came. She showed up. Well, good for you. Oh, all right. All right. Well, I do want to call to your attention one of our beloved dear friends of Unity, Milton Grantham. You can see up here on the screen. I just found out on Tuesday that he has passed away, and I just wanted to. I'll tell you what I put in the newsletter. Please do read the newsletter. We have important information in there when things change or any additional things. So anyway, he was a longtime friend of Unity of Richmond. He passed away on September 30th. He was involved here with Unity Interfaith Council of Greater Richmond, with the Men of Unity. He was a dedicated usher, and his light definitely will be missed. We wish our deepest condolences to his family and friends. He is currently at rest at Scott's funeral home, and there's some details in the newsletter. You can connect up with the funeral home. You can send your condolences and well wishes, and there's a viewing on this Friday from 10 a.m. to 7. And the graveside, they're just having a graveside service with the to be held at 11 a.m. on Saturday at the Forest Lawn Cemetery. So anyway, so we bless him on his new his homegoing and the celebration of being returned and in the presence of pure love. We do have a busy month here and coming up here in October too, and I do want to again reiterate that we're having here today a fundraiser for the Empathy High School After service at 1 p.m., the Alliance for Unity of Justice has sponsored Henry, who's all the way here from Uganda, sitting over there with Sylvia Clute, founder of the Alliance for Unity of Justice. We so want to welcome you, and it's so amazing how well we are connected with other parts of the world. Now, I teach at the Urban Ministerial School online, and some of my students have been in Uganda and Nigeria, taking ministerial classes and graduating as ministers in those countries. So it's pretty wonderful. So come for the fundraiser. It's about an hour. Henry's going to present about the Empathy High School, which is they started the primary school and for younger children, and it was such a great success to bring the principles of unity of justice there to eliminate corporal punishment in the schools. And Henry wants to take it forward into the high school and create this high school. And those children will be moving on through an entire system where justice and is love, and there's no punishment. So that is a wonderful thing. That is just what great things are happening in the world, even though there are other things that get our attention and scream much louder sometimes. Anyway, so come. There will be some refreshments downstairs in between, so don't feel like you have to go anywhere to stay for this fundraiser. It will be streamed too, because there's people all over the country and around the world who want to support this effort. All right. And now I want to call Lisa Marks, Reverend Lisa Marks, up here to do a special announcement, because we are also hosting here at Unity of Richmond a wonderful conference called Ignite Your Life at the end of October.
Good morning. So you all have a really unique opportunity at the, I'm speaking.
Yes.
Okay. All right. You have a really unique opportunity coming up at the end of the month to partake in this wonderful symposium called Ignite Your Light. And we used to do these years and years ago with Reverend Dwight Smith, for those of you who knew him. I used to plan with him to do these, and last year we brought it back to honor him, and then I was asked by a couple of the presenters to do it again. So this year, Ignite Your Light is being held here, and it is regeneration, reset, and radiance. The regeneration part of it is going to be me. I'm going to speak about ancestral healing and teach you all how to find your wise and well ancestors. The reset part is Dr. Catherine Lehman, who is my friend and mentor. She's going to channel the Divine Mother. And then the radiance part of it is music. And there's going to be a lot of music this year. So we've got Valorie on board, Reverend Valorie. Armand and Angelina are going to be here, and then they're going to do your Sunday service. If you've never experienced them before, they are an experience. And they are wonderful, wonderful people. Also, Richard Gordon will be here. He's also part of the Radiance. So Friday night is going to be a meditation. Singing bowls, music, and meditation by Richard. And Richard is a master meditator, and you don't want to miss that. It will encompass the world and each individual who is there. Saturday will be speakers and music and lunch, and we are going to have a breakout session after lunch where you can experience singing bowls. You can have the harp played on you. Angelina does that. You can get chair massage. Dan O'Neill is going to do that. And also you can get an energy attunement, which Reverend J.R. Adams is going to do. So we are religious science in the Richmond community. But our goal is really to bring the unities and religious science together. Our philosophies are basically the same. We believe the same things. We follow the same paths. So you don't want to miss this. Friday night and Saturday, you don't want to miss this. There is an early bird. It's October 24th and 25th. And there is an early bird special right now that until October 13th, I believe, where you can get the whole package for $100. It's also, you can come just Friday night, you can come just Saturday, if that fits your schedules better. So please come and join us. It's going to be a lot of fun and just great, great people. Yes, there are forms there, and I also brought some extras if you all need them. And if you have any questions about it, please ask me after the service, and I will be glad to talk to you about it.
All right, and to kick off the month, we have Reverend Amy Steinberg, who is a singer-songwriter. She's had a PBS television show for children. She's going to be doing our service next Sunday and a concert after. And we do have a video of her, presenting her work. You get to have a face-to-face with her from this announcement.
Hi again, Unity of Richmond. I'm Amy Steinberg, and I pulled a card for my visit there. And this card says, I will reach for the best feeling thought I have access to. And the best feeling thought that I have access to about my visit there is that the seats are full, that y'all are there, that y'all are ready to sing along and to feel good and to enjoy a new exciting experience of music, because we are so blessed to be able to connect in this way where we use new thought to create our lives and to demonstrate the power and the presence of God, which is love for me. So I look forward to seeing you on Sunday, October 5th, and I encourage you today to reach for the highest and best feeling thought that you have access to. I love you already, and I don't even know you, so I'll see you soon. Sunday, October 5th.
Hey, like and share. We've got things going out in our social media, about the concert, and share with invite as many friends as you can. So that will be next week, the day after our fall festival. So we have an exciting October, and then during the week we are streaming music, Amy and I, on Monday for the Eastern Region Conference, which is actually virtual. You can just look at the newsletter. There's details there on the different speakers that there are. You can choose to come to one or the whole thing if you would like. And it's for everyone. It's not just for ministers or just for board members. It's for everyone. Bridging timeless wisdom to modern living, revolutionary leadership. All right. And one more thing coming up that Mary Ellen Barton is doing is facilitating some upcoming Reiki level classes. On October 7th, there will be Reiki level 2. On the 13th, she's doing level 1, and it's 10 to 3 p.m. And you can see Mary Ellen. You can also look in our newsletter for the details of that as well. So there's all kinds of healing opportunities. And thank you, Mary Ellen, for doing that. All the proceeds for those classes go right here to Unity of Richmond for her generosity in sharing this with us. So thank you. Wow, did I get to the end of our announcements? That was a lot today, but that's okay. We've got a lot of good stuff going on, so let us now bring up Kara Boston, one of our board members, who's going to do our gratitude spotlight.
Morning. So the first thing to be grateful for is that I think I've been up either on the stage or around the stage every day this month. So I am grateful for the opportunities to practice facilitating and things like that here at Unity. But really, in all seriousness, so I am grateful for Unity in general, but Unity of Richmond, because it was able to create a space for me to have community with like-minded folks, also folks that challenged my thinking. And it's interesting to say that the community piece is the gratitude piece when I came here at a time that I had started my own self-discovery journey. So that's kind of like interpersonal, on my own. And when I was doing that, I was reading a lot of the books that were actually being taught by Richard at the time, right? So like Untethered Soul, by, I think it's Singer is his last name, Michael Singer. And, then there was other things, and we've also been able to do things like Linda Barnett and I, or Linda Bennett. Man, I'm having trouble with names today. But anyway, Linda and I actually did a workshop where we did the mandalas, right, and connected those to the Unity principles. So there's a lot of opportunity to use your creativity and connect it together with the Unity principles, because Unity, of course, very much celebrates the creativity and the uniqueness in each one of us. And I'm just so glad that we have a safe space to do that. And we get to do things not just here on Sunday mornings, but also outside of, these walls, as we say. And as our lives get transformed, we get to transform the world, or at least the community that's around us. And that's just such a special opportunity that I don't think everybody gets. And so that is why I do have a special place for Sweet Unity, as my creative musician friends call it, because it does offer all of that to us and more. And just the fact that, again, I came in kind of on a singular, journey, found the community, but also found the unity in that, like, we are all connected. And when we get that and we know that, the world does become a better place. So thank you for joining us today.
Good morning, everyone. If this is my last song, if this is my final day, if tomorrow I'll be gone, what do I want to say? If this is my last song, if it's my time to go, when my body's moved on, what will I have to show? But fortune and fame, they scatter to the wind. The things that make a name just don't matter in the end. But is the world a little more peaceful? Ocean skies a little more blue? Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there is only rain? If so, then I'm glad I came. If these are my last words for all of the earth to hear, if all that I have ever been is about to disappear, if these are my last words, there's nothing that I need to say. I have only tried to serve. It's never been about the talking anyway. So much hurt there is to heal, it's hard to understand. All I can hope to feel feel is that I am doing what I can. Is the world a little more peaceful? Ocean skies a little more blue? Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there is only rain? If so, then I'm glad I came. Have I given hope to the hopeless? Has a hungry soul been fed? Has a child stood a little bit taller 'cause of something that I said? Have I felt a little kindness? Have I eased a little pain? If so, then I'm glad I came. For that, I'm so glad I came.
Thank you for that. Live your life to the fullest. Live your life to the fullest. As if maybe every day could be your last. What would you do if it were your last day? Hopefully you're doing what you would always do, be in love and service. And I want to recognize we have some friends online today. We have Peggy Rogers and Joe Holtzgraf. We have Sandy Beekler and Rita in Ohio. And I know there are others on YouTube that I'm not looking at because I'm viewing viewing the Facebook page, but we are connected with others who are with us, and I'm so grateful for all of these connections. And to further the gratitude spotlight, I want to say how grateful I am for all of the volunteers who have been working behind the scenes to prepare for this fall festival, ones who are going to be here for the fall festival and volunteer. It is a yeoman's job, and it's a team effort, and Penelope is having a well-deserved time away for her anniversary today, and so we specifically are grateful for her overseeing what has been done so far. And I also want to recognize that we have compassionate care people who are out there. I cannot possibly, be there in person for everybody at all times, but we have people who for example, we want to hold our prayers for Marion Del Corso in hospice. We have people who are spending time with her and visiting her. I saw her last Monday, and will continue to check in and be there and be of support, but holding her in the light during this time. We have others of you who are, sitting with people who are having chemotherapy and going through health challenges. And anyway, so if you are called and feel called to be of compassionate care in the ways that we can, like delivering meals, groceries, whatever, and you haven't already been on the team, please come see me and we will find you an assignment. Yeah. All right. So today's lesson is part 2 of what I started a few weeks ago before we left for a week's vacation in Key West. And it's great to be back with you. We were there celebrating my birthday, taking in the beauty, getting in some sun. I brought back this souvenir here because when I saw that on the wall, I was like, I need a reminder often that everything's going to be all right. And the intention was for me to have it in a visible place, that when I get off center, that I can return It's the center. And stand in this spiritual power within all circumstances. And I started the lesson with that title because of Linda Martellowitz's talk series on the audacity of spiritual power. And her book, Divine Audacity, is all about the 12 powers that Unity teaches. So today I will give you a little recap of part 1, and then we will explore 8 pillars of lasting joy, which come from the book of Lasting Joy, Lasting Happiness in a Changing World by His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, and the Archbishop Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Because when we can acknowledge our divine nature and then return from that idea of separation consciousness to our oneness with Spirit, our unity with all that is, and access that joy and love and peace and compassion from within, and then when we're in that place, we are using our spiritual power. We're not allowing other things outside of us to be responsible for our peace and our well-being. So the other day, I was reading the Daily Word on Tuesday, and this really jumped out at me, and I said, I think I need to share that on Sunday with the message. And the main point or affirmation of the Daily Word on Tuesday was, I find my protection in divine nature. It reads in part, because I'm not reading the whole Daily Word, but it says, my protection is not the absence of difficulty, but the presence of divine strength guiding me through it. When challenges arise, they do not diminish me, they refine me, awakening resilience, creativity, and wisdom that I never knew I had. So these New Thought teachings sometimes give us the impression that we can get spiritual enough to eliminate all unwanted circumstances. Well, guess what? That's not true. That's not the case. And none of these great spiritual teachers, Jesus included, were able to eliminate unwanted circumstances. They could only walk through life while using these spiritual tools, using their capacity of strength and love and discernment and all of those things that are included in our 12 power teachings to shine their light and keep that presence within them to radiate out into the world, to be connected with their source enough that they could move through and navigate these difficult circumstances in the world. So I want to remind you that remember that when we experience these unwanted circumstances, not to look upon ourselves as failures. However, we want to examine always what is the lesson that there is to learn, what is wanting to emerge from within us, these greater qualities, so that we can respond to the circumstances but not react out of fear. And so that we can learn how to be bold and thrive within the circumstance, whether it be a health challenge or a financial challenge or a relational challenge. So let me ask you this question. I think I asked it in the last time I was here. Do you have the audacity to live boldly under the radical premise, I am divine? That is the definition. Thank you for answering that. Now let me ask again. Do you have the audacity to live boldly under this radical premise that I am divine? Now, Linda Martellowitz does define audacity or divine audacity as bold spiritual living under this radical premise that I am divine. Yes, we are human, but we also are divine. We have divinity. And the divinity is living through this body, this human experience right now. It is to acknowledge, and this is right from Divine Audacity, the book, it says, it is to acknowledge that my true nature is one with the divine nature, or God. I am able to boldly express the highest spiritual principles in the middle of everyday situations. I am courageously responsive. I am fearlessly self-reflective and self-corrective. Now, in the last part 1, I spoke about the phenomenon of failure to thrive and how it applies with newborn babies and the elderly, that when not receiving any loving connection, they don't survive, they die. Failure to thrive also is a spiritual problem. Failure to thrive, and this is from one of Linda's talks on this, failure to thrive is giving up hope, allowing the external circumstances be the source of your happiness and well-being. It's also, as I was thinking about it, it's an amnesia. It's forgetting our divine identity. It's forgetting God and allowing ego to take over, causing this anxiety, fear, and worry and doubt, which most assuredly does affect our physical health, our mental health, and our spiritual mindset. Now, the cause of this failure to thrive is that looking outside to outer circumstances to make us feel better, or to make these circumstances a source of our happiness and our well-being or our abundance in life. Now, do these things need to be addressed and not spiritually bypassed? Yes, they do. We can't just affirmation them away. They're still there if we don't have a feeling and a thought and a belief, a true belief that is all in sync with that higher thought that Amy Steinberg was talking about, or that higher feeling that she was talking about when she drew that card. So what tools do you have in your tool belt to counter this consciousness of separation and lack? It's all a part of the human experience. Our ego, gets afraid. So what tools do you have that remind you, when faced with really difficult situations, can get you through? We can use all those affirmations as we do. We do what we call releases and affirmations, releasing the negative and affirming spiritual truth. But we also need to firmly ground ourselves in those changing our subconscious, which may think I'm not good enough, or is holding shame, thinks that life is a struggle and it'll never get any better. So the solution to this universal problem of failure to thrive is to build a consciousness of thriving, a spiritual foundation of inherent worth. Our Course in Miracles study takes place after service every week, does that. And there are so many other things too. But anyway, the solution isn't for us to try and get to something that we don't have, but the thing is to become that which we might perceive is lacking, but to become that which we already are inherently. So it's not about doing more, it's about being more. Being more. Now, Franciscan monk Richard Rohr, in his book, The Universal Christ, teaches that humanity's worth is inherent, universal, indestructible, as does unity, as does science of mind, all the New Thought, Course in Miracles. Anyway, humanity's worth is inherent, universal, and indestructible because every person and everything is infused with the universal Christ principle. It's a principle. This core concept is a central theme in his work, particularly that book, The Universal Christ, and it is deeply influenced by the Franciscan theology. And there are some principles that he has in teaching about the universal Christ, and one is this idea of divine DNA. Every person, regardless of their background, possesses a divine DNA. The imago Dei in Latin means image of God. And this worth is unearned and cannot be taken away. Worth is given and not earned. Human dignity is a gift of grace from God, not something that can be merited through good deeds or lost through failure. And he talks about the way to overcome shame is to see humanity through the capital I incarnation, through the eyes of God, through our oneness, or through that Christ consciousness. And that is the antidote to really looking from that place. He also makes a distinction between the difference of Jesus of Nazareth, who was the historical man who revealed and embodied the Christ, and then the universal Christ. And before him, Buddha, who embodied the light as well, and other spiritual teachers who came before, ancient. So this universal Christ is the divine presence or pattern that has been infused in all of creation from the beginning. And in this view, Richard Rohr says, God loves things by becoming them. Now this is way, a bit more in line with our Unity, New Thought teachings, Science of Mind. Our first principle is that God is present everywhere and in everything. And our second is that that presence is within every being. So coming to understand this is the key to healing our religious wounds of the past, the key to living a joyful life. Because God becomes its expression uniquely in and through you, in and through me, in and through humankind. So how to express this greater version of yourself as an expression of the Most High, the Imago Dei, is to embody it. It's to become it. If you want, it's not to have an intellectual understanding of it, it's to be it. So if you want to have more peace in the world, then be and become that peace and express it in the world. And if you want to have more kindness in the world, you think the world has lost its kindness, then bring more kindness to the world. If the world needs more abundance and prosperity in your eyes, then become the abundance and prosperity by giving what you can by way of service, by way of funds, and supporting the things that you hold as your values. So instead of an old idea that has come from ancient Old Testament teachings is the idea of giving to source, or tithing to source, or giving service to source, or to God. You actually come from the place of source moving in and through you, so that you can be a blessing, and you are being prosperity, you are being abundance, you are being love, and sharing that service. And if you want to see a more joyful world, then become joyful yourself. Again, you don't have to get to it. It can come from within you. So what I want to talk about today is, how do we live a life of joy in all circumstances? How do we live that life of spiritual power in all circumstances? Now, when I think of the old ancient writings and stuff, we don't hear that word joy as much, but we do hear that these great spiritual teachers embodied the mystical. They had a direct connection, a relationship with the divine. And in my experience, that is joyful, that is peaceful. That does assure me that everything is going to be all right. So as I was listening to VPM this week, if you're tired of the bad news in the world, look for the good news. I was listening to VPM on the radio, and they were talking about a program that they did this summer called Finding Joy in RVA. So I looked it up. It said, VPM presents Finding Joy. And this is a quote: "Joy is a valuable resource, especially in a time when what is going on around the world can offer more concern than relief." VPM spent the summer exploring the people, places, and activities that bring joy in our corner of the Commonwealth. We've found serenity in gardening and learned the ins and outs of wedding planning, explored the power of finding home and togetherness in an adopted country. And they also found it in the expression of art and music. So if you feel that your life is lacking something, become that which you see is lacking. Now, a little while back, maybe a year or so, but I'd like to go back and watch it again, Mira and I watched a movie called Mission Joy, which was a documentary about the friendship between His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu. This book, the book that was written about it, I mentioned earlier, is called The Book of Lasting Joy, which I'm thinking that would be a good class study. So the concepts, the key concepts of this lasting joy is that there are 8 pillars that they talk about. Oh, these were slides from the previous one, so I'm just going to go ahead to our concepts. All right. So there are 8 concepts or pillars of joy, which are outlined in this book study. And those pillars of joy are perspective, humility, humor, acceptance, forgiveness, gratitude, and generosity. So we're going to unpack those now. Let's look at perspective. And these are all qualities of the heart and the mind to cultivate daily. The perspective part: learn to see events from different angles to reduce anxiety. And by the way, the arcs of unitive justice are all about that, looking from the perspectives of others besides our own. And anyway, so we want to learn to see things from different perspectives. We often teach in unity that in unwanted circumstances, to be open to what good will come out of the situation. In fact, we've even said, I can't wait to see what good is going to come out of this. And this too is for good, this too is for me. And we expect or look for that blessing in it. A fresh perspective might be looking at what resilience there is within you, what strength there is within you, and what of your purpose and mission wants to emerge in and out of that situation. So we want to keep that perspective. And now the second one is humility, is recognizing our place and connection with others. Interconnection. So to have humility doesn't mean to think of yourself as a worm of the earth. It means to embrace who you are as an expression of goodness. And it is recognizing that we are all interconnected, that we are all, and that no one is better or worse than another. That's humility. And now, humor, approaching life with a light-hearted spirit. How do you use humor to do that? Think about it. Where would we be if we couldn't laugh or have a sense of humor? Now, I'm talking about laughter that is with others, not at others, okay? Laughter is really the best medicine. It can help us lighten up, not take ourselves so seriously, and not take everything so seriously. It can remind us that everything's going to be all right. All right, number 4 is acceptance. You've all probably heard of the serenity prayer. So acceptance is acknowledging that some things might be beyond our control And to have the serenity to know the difference between what you can change and that which you cannot change. And be at peace with it. And that truly, the only one that we can change is ourselves, our own perspective. And the next one, forgiveness. Letting go of anger and resentment. That's key, because that is in the way. That's definitely a block to our joy if we are holding on to resentment and living in anger. Now, His Holiness has written and talked about his process of forgiving the Chinese government, the emperor, for decimating the Tibetan culture and exiling him from his own country, forbidding them to practice their Buddhist faith. And he often would say that this Chinese dictator, he calls it his sacred friend, because this has taught him deep lessons in compassion and forgiveness. And now, gratitude, the act of giving and help. Gratitude, appreciating what we have. Yes, this is a powerful way to become that which you seek. Look for all the blessings that you have. Look at the daily word today. The world becomes beautiful when I find God in it. You know, when we look and appreciate the good things in our life, then we will see and find more good things. So being grateful and being forgiving is the embodiment of being the change you wish to see. We cannot lack anything if we become that which we see is missing, what we think or perceive is missing. Now, number 7 is compassion, developing a deep understanding and care for others' suffering. So we don't step over people's suffering and people who are in a state of suffering. We understand that human condition that is full of suffering. We accept that which we cannot change. We change the things that we can. So whatever you feel called to do to make the suffering or lighten the suffering of others, that's compassion. So the last one is generosity, the act of giving and helping others, which also brings us joy. It brings us joy. It gets us outside of our self-absorbed ego to be a blessing to others and to help others. It makes us feel good. It gives us a sense of purpose, to be the source of good, to be a source of blessing to others, does it not? Everything done in love returns in love, 1,000-fold. So whatever it is you do or give, do it from that place. Because everything done from fear then will just yield more fear, more discomfort, more suffering. It's all about where we're coming from. It's all about the perspective we're coming from, that consciousness. So I am enrolled, and just began 2 weeks ago, a year-long integral ministry program class with Gary and Jane Simmons. There is going to be much to share with you as the year goes on, but for now, I want to share with you this idea from the New Testament where Jesus is reported to have said in Matthew 25:29, "For to everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who does not have, even what he has will be taken away." Which, when you first hear that, it seems, ouch, right? What? But really, this is when you look at it from a place of in our consciousness, in our thinking. So, just to give you a little context, this statement comes right after this parable that he tells about, so you could call it the parable of the talents, but there are some servants who were given bags of gold, or talents, which was the currency of the time. So they're given bags of gold. Some people were given 5 bags, some of them were given 2 bags, And one guy was given one bag, and then they were told to go out and do something with them, to do something good with that. And so the ones that went out and had with their five, they invested in their own way in using their bags of money, and they yielded more return, more blessings for them, and they had so their things increased. The one who just had one bag, he buried his in the ground. Of course, it's sitting there in the ground was of no use at all, and it could do no good. So in our consciousness, this is what happens. When we are in lack and separation consciousness, we will have more experience of lack and separation, because those are the thoughts and feelings that bring us suffering. But when we are in a consciousness of oneness, in a consciousness of gratitude, then our good increases. We have an increased feeling of blessing, and therefore in our life and in our affairs, we see all kinds of other great good things manifesting. And that's because we're focused on purpose, we're focused on our good, and the embodiment of spirit in expression. So when we focus on the work that we have with gratitude and generosity, we will have an increased blessing. We focus on lack, then we will have more anxiety, more fear, and more, blocking the flow of good in our way. So as Jesus did, which was, again, the circumstances he was living in, the Roman Empire had taken over the world, squelched the Jewish faith and destroyed the temple, and all kinds of things were going on. Anyway, so his conditions in those times were pretty bad. Now, Archbishop Tutu lived through the apartheid in South Africa. The Dalai Lama was under exile, and again, as I mentioned earlier, the Tibetan culture was being decimated. Yet they learned to cultivate this joy from within and overlook their religious differences. They became the best of friends. It's a delightful movie. You should be sure and watch it. Maybe on another movie night. We've already chosen the one that we have coming up. We'll watch that one together. But anyway, they cultivated these 8 pillars of perspective, humility, humor, acceptance, forgiveness, gratitude, compassion, and generosity. And so you and I, can also develop these pillars of joy and live audaciously under the radical premise that you are divine, because you are infused with the universal Christ, which is inherent, universal, and indestructible. And from this is your protection, as I started with the daily word. I find my protection in divine nature. And from this place, everything is going to be all right. All right, let's prepare for meditation now. And I am going to share this wonderful meditation, which comes from the Book of Lasting Joy, from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. We'll do that for our meditation, which is beautiful. Oh. All right, a word from our sponsor. My sponsor.
There's no way to happiness. Happiness is the way.
Yes.
This beloved woman had her birthday, the big polydactyl +5. We visited the 6-toed cats in Key West, polydactyl +5 birthday. And I would like you to join me in singing Happy Birthday.
Aww, that's a surprise. Wow. Thank you. And many more, yes. Thank you. Thank you. So for our meditation now, see, laughter and humor and love, all of those things uplift us. So let us breathe now into that spaciousness where the mind meets the heart. And from this meeting of the mind and the heart, our full circuits are connected with the holy self within, that transcendent, all ever present spirit that is everywhere and within. And from this place, we do this loving kindness meditation. May I be happy. May I be free. May I be free from tension, fear, and worry. May I be healed. And may I be at peace. And just as I wish to be happy, so might you be happy. This is to others in the world. May you be happy and free. May your tension and your painfulness of heart fall away. May your joy increase. And may you be free. May we all be happy. May we each come into the light. May we let go of blocks. And may we let go and experience our perfect being. May we all be free. May we all be happy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be clear-minded. May their hearts open, and may they be free. May all beings love themselves. May all beings come to their happiness. And may they uncover the joy of the true self, capital S. All beings everywhere. And so it is. So it is. And now we'll join together and sing, "You Are the Face of God."
I am the face of God. I hold it in my heart. It is a part of me. I am the face of God. You are the face of God.
I'd like to call our ushers up and our board president, Armand Leake. Is the light on? Okay.
Well, I'll talk loud. How about that? Okay, is that better? Okay. All right. Dear beloved community, as we move from the slower rhythms of summer and into the sacred turning of the fall, I want to take a moment to thank you all for all the ways that you show up, for one another, for our ministry, and for the spirit that we serve together. Now, it's not uncommon for contributions to dip during the summer months, and we felt that here at Unity of Richmond. Now, as we return to fuller schedules and deeper engagement, we are relying on your generosity to help us meet the very real needs of our ministry. Salaries for our dedicated staff, ongoing programs, and the daily expenses that keep our spiritual home thriving. Your gifts make everything we do possible. They are an expression of love, of commitment, and of shared vision. Whether you give weekly, monthly, or however you're able, please know that every contribution matters and is deeply appreciated. And we'd like to thank you all for helping us continue this sacred work. And together we are building something that is very, very beautiful. Thank you.
And together, divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful. And those of you who, many of you are giving consistently, so it just does automatic, but in our consciousness, just feel and send that love and that blessing as you are giving it now through your energy, and we appreciate that. So, as
someone becomes empowered, there is a little less fear. When there's a little less fear, there is a little less anger. When there is a little less anger, there is a little less hate. When there's a little less hate, there is a little less conflict. And there's a little more peace. And when there's a little more peace, there's a little more love. When there's a little more love, someone becomes empowered. When someone becomes empowered, there is a little less fear. When there's a little less fear, there is a little less anger. When there is a little less anger, there is a little less hate. When there's a little less hate, there is a little less conflict. Then there's a little more peace. And when there's a little more peace, there's a little more love. When there's a little more love, someone becomes empowered. there's a little more peace, and when there's a little more peace, there's a little more love. When there's a little more love, someone becomes empowered. When there's a little more love, someone becomes empowered. When there's a little more love, someone becomes empowered. Thank you.
Thank you. Say, I want to recognize, thank you. We're going to bless these gifts and give thanks. So together, we give thanks for the gifts that will support our mission of creating a spiritually awakened world. And I want to recognize we have a newborn with us today. Maya's, oh wait, she's gone. She's in the back. Okay. All right. Our youth are coming up, so we want to recognize and thank our teachers and our little ones that are with us. So we'll sing "You Are Walking as a Light."
Good morning. We had a fun morning doing lots of play. Ronan loves trucks. But we talked about the prayer of protection, and we learned that a little bit. And we talked about God is, what is God? Everywhere. Yeah. And do you want to say anything? Thank you to Amber for always being here and taking such good care of our children.
I just want to say Ronan taught me a lot about dinosaurs today. He is very smart.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
All right. All right. So I want to thank you all for everybody who's all parts of the service. Thank you to our musicians, our sound team and AV. And to our volunteers who have been filling in and cleaning the building while Debbie has been out. And thank you, everyone, for being here with us today. And our prayer chaplains will be here and are here and available to pray with you. And there's a lovely little place even behind in the back of the room that's been prepared. So thank you. Junius and for Carol for being our prayer chaplains today. All right, now let us say our prayer for protection and close with a peace song. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Each moment